From the beginning, he has claimed that he is a victim of an FBI conspiracy, a political prisoner. But in spite of his protests, Pratt stands convicted of the senseless murder and $18 robbery of a 27-year-old white woman.
Are you telling me that you learned to be happy in prison?
I found freedom, my understanding of freedom. Out of all of my 58 years, I found it in the depths of the worst holes in San Quentin and Folsom Prison. It took the process of detaching from everything. You don't have any desires. You stop masturbating. So you don't have no sexual desire, all that. But that's where I found true freedom. The desire, the submission, the release of the ego, the understanding that you are just a small part of something much bigger. And once you begin to adapt your body, your mind, to these things, this external stimuli, all these things, and understanding that we're all a part of something, that a continuation of something, and you reach that balance, then you feel happiness that you would probably never feel from drugs, from anything else. I ended up in jail because of situations that were concocted by Richard Nixon. When they were judged by Congress in '76, that they were actually wrong, that they were criminals, and you had convictions out of that. They went to San Clemente, and we went to San Quentin.
1970s, a series of things began to happen. A Senate investigating committee found that the FBI had a highly questionable counterintelligence program aimed at the Black Panthers, and that Pratt was a special target.
My first 8 years of my 27 years in prison was in the hole in San Quentin and Folsom. And back then, those holes consisted of just empty cell, but very inhumane and very torturous. These are the most intelligent beings that I've ever encountered in my life, ants. My first couple of years, I was always guarding against the ants, because my toilet was a hole in the floor, and they would crawl out of there, they would come and they would bite. So after a while, I realized that this is their world. I'm just here, and why am I killing them? Just let them continue to bite me. I just surrendered to them. And once I submitted to that situation, they stopped biting me, and then after a while, they started bringing me things, like little crumbs and whatnot, that I could eat. And then that caused me to thank them. I was so grateful, because at that time, guards would not feed you. Sometimes, I was on bread and water for a long time. It was just a good feeling of gratitude that I think opened me up and made me reduce my ego. That act of submission, to reduce yourself, because you got this macho, you above everything, and you can fight anything, and now you're being made to submit to this tiny creature. And then you learn so much from it. That really had a big impact on my life. I began to meditate and to do certain things that was later told to me to be a part of the transcendental meditations and the astral projections and all of these things that I read later. The Maharajnis, Krishnamurtis, led to this thing that you had to let go. You had to not have an ego. You had to, not be attached to all of these things which are causing you to deteriorate. But once you reach that, it's like you are just like a spirit that just exists in and of yourself.